Did you know the first unique printing in Magic the Gathering was the 1996 World Champion? Did you know that the card back was supposed to change with each release and new set? You did? Good. I am MTG Bear, and together we're going to try and find some of the most obscure facts about Magic the Gathering. If you have your own fact or want to see more videos just like this one, you can subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. I read almost every comment and would love to know your obscure Magic the Gathering facts. Let's begin. We'll start out today with a set of cards that have a very unique effect. That effect being the removal of cards based on their original printing. These are City in a Bottle, Apocalypse Chime, and Golgothian Silex. These cards all share similar-ish abilities of destroying cards printed in specific sets. The crazy thing is that these are legal to play in Eternal formats, even Commander. The issue is just you have to know or look up what cards were originally printed in which sets to have any idea of what the effects actually do. Here are some notable examples. Apocalypse Chime can hit Serrated Arrows and Didgeridoo. City in a Bottle can hit Quambodge Witches, Drop of Honey, Library of Alexandria, Curd Ape, and most importantly, Oubliette. And Golgothian Silex can hit Atog, Candelabra of Tawnos, Millstone, Mishra's Factory and Workshop, Ornithopter, the Rack, Triskelion, as well as Urza's Mine, Power Plant, Tower, and Hat. Golgothian Silex really does have a lot of good potential hits. City in a Bottle and Apocalypse Chime have very few good targets, and overall I love this series of cards, and I'm glad this mechanic has been shifted over to Silver/Acorn cards because the effect itself is just so obscure. It's a wonder why these are actually allowed to be played in Eternal formats. They have printed similar cards like War of the Spark as special promotional tools, which I think is really cool that call back to this effect, but overall this set of cards is rather interesting. Oracle text is the official rules for cards in Magic the Gathering. This is the text used to play out cards in tournament settings, and it can vary greatly from what is printed onto the card and the actual rules. Camouflage is my go-to example for this, as the printed wording is nothing like the actual rules nightmare that is resolving this card. Though I did want to highlight some funny pieces of Oracle text that I found while researching for this video. The first is Lovestruck Beast, which has the restriction of requiring a 1/1 creature for it to attack, and the ruling reads, if Lovestruck Beast's power and toughness are reduced to 1/1, it learns that loving oneself is the first step on the true path to happiness, and it can attack even if you control no other 1/1 creatures. Some other notable examples are Feaster Fools, which has, because Devour applies as Feaster Fools enters the battlefield, it can't devour creatures that enter the battlefield at the same time as it. It can devour the creatures that convoked it, and those creatures can reflect upon the wisdom of convoking a demon, which is just great. We also get Revel in Riches, which has, if the second ability of Revel in Riches causes you to win the game, please refrain from throwing your treasure tokens into the air, as this may distract or injure other players, which I'm not sure is legal advice, but it's hilarious nonetheless. There's the classic Void Winnower with its hilarious, yes, your opponent can't even, we know, which just implies that the card designers over at Wizards of the Coast really got tired of that joke really quick. I have been able to find one example of a card with a similar jokey bit of rules text, but actually on the card, and that's Obsidian Fireheart. It lets you put blaze counters on opponents' lands, which hurt them over time, and because the effect is tied to the counter, it has the amazing reminder text of, the land continues to burn after Obsidian Fireheart has left the battlefield. There are a lot of these jokey kind of rules, and discovering them is always a treat. It's an in-joke between the game devs and the players. Unfortunately, they're just usually very hard to find. Magic the Gathering is currently printed in English, Simplified Chinese, French, German, Italian, Japanese, and Portuguese. With all of these languages, there are some noticeable mishaps during the translation process. Descent upon the Sinful is probably the most well-known example. In French, it translates to Descend upon the Fisherman because of the incorrect accent being used. But it is far from a unique example. Stoic Rebuttal in Portuguese has the Metalcraft text, but the whole bit about countering the spell is left off the card. One of my favorite examples of this is this copy of Sarah Angel from Spanish Revised. This very much does not look like Sarah Angel. In fact, this is Time Elemental, but due to a printing error, it has the same name, casting cost, and the spelled out vigilance ability from Sarah Angel. Perhaps the strangest language variation is that of Jamurian Lion. It's a rather meh card, but check this out. The English printing shows us the lion, but the non-English printings of the card has the art zoomed out. You see more of the background art, but is absolutely the same card and same art. I couldn't find a reason as to why this is the case for only the non-English printings, and if you have any idea, let me know down in the comments. This one is just weird. Mana costs have gone through a lot of changes and variations over Magic's 30 years history. Originally, costs could not exceed a single digit, meaning that cards that required 10 or more generic mana, like Aladdin's Lamp, had to be printed with 2 5s instead of the 10 that you see in later printings, leading to much confusion. The biggest generic mana cost is Gleemax at a staggering 1 million mana, but this is from the unsets and their whole thing is to be goofier than normal Magic. This is how we get cards like Mox Lotus that taps to add an infinite amount of mana to your mana pool and has a cost of 100 mana to produce 1 colored mana. For normal non-acorn cards we have Draco at the highest mana value being 16, but that's not the highest cost you can pay in tournament legal Magic. That honor goes to Sponsire of Ulamog, which has a 20 mana activation that lets you cast all your Eldrazi from outside of the game. If you're looking for the highest power creature, that gets a bit more complicated. The token created from Dark Depths, Marriott Lodge, is a 20/20, but if you don't want a token, Yargle and Multani followed up by being a vanilla 18 power, 6 toughness creature. Personally, I count the Marriott Lodge token as it's a specific character, but it's not technically a card, so I don't know. The greatest toughness we have again, the Marriott Lodge token, or this, Karis and the Beholder. This is a Heroes of the Realm card, which I discussed in this video here. This is a 1/20 creature made by Wizards of the Coast as a special thank you to employees back in 2018. If you don't think that counts as the greatest toughness, the next option you would have to go down to is Charix the Raging Isle at a staggering 0.17 for a Leviathan Crab. Magic has a lot of weirdness when it comes to very big numbers, and there's definitely more to dig into for this topic, so if you want to see more fact videos about big numbers or specific numbers, let me know in the comments. Today's final piece of Magic the Gathering obscure trivia comes from the original print run for the set Tempest back in '97. Involving the Sapphire, Emerald, and Ruby medallions, they all have a similar printing error. Do you see it? If you zoom in, you can see the outline of a Charlie Brown or Peanuts character. I highlighted it here, and here's a side-by-side comparison of the two. This misprint is thought to be the result of the printers used for the print run also handling the printing of Peanuts comics in Europe. As a result of the misprint, these cards are exceptionally rare, fetching a high price on the secondary market. I think it's really cool that such a strange misprint could exist in the game, and this is definitely the fact I did not know when I began making this video. I tried to find similar cases of other characters being printed, and these appeared to be the only examples that I was able to find. Alright nerds, that's it for today. What obscure MTG trivia do you know? Leave me a comment and it could appear in the next video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks nerds.